Alright guys, now in this video we're going to look at a quick piano lesson. And the first thing I want to show you is the difference between the left hand and the right hand. What the left hand generally does is play the bass note of whatever chord you're playing. So if the first chord we're going to play is G, then right here is a low G. And a lot of times, instead of just even playing one note, a lot of times you'll play an octave. And an octave just means it's another G, but it's just a higher G, and you play both of them together by stretching out your pinky and your thumb, playing them both at the same time. And that shape, that same distance, is going to be the same if you switch down to a C chord. So no matter what, you can move this same shape. You can play, if your hand can reach that far, you can play an octave here and then move it around. So the left hand generally plays the same note that the key, that the chord is that you're playing. So for example, the right hand is going to play, a lot of times you'll play three notes at the same time. And you'll start out with, if we're playing a G chord again, we'll play the G with the thumb, then you can play the third, which is a B, and then the fifth of that chord is a D. So you can play all three of those, and that makes a chord. And again, like the left hand octave, you can move this same shape around different places, and depending on the chord, you might have to play a black note here and there, but you'll start with, you'll basically keep this same shape, and you can move that around to different chords. And but what I'm going to show you is basically a way that you can keep your hand, your right hand, generally in the same place while playing different chords. And the reason you can do that is because you're playing inversions. Instead of playing the, we'll start with the G chord. Instead of playing the G by just the one, and then the third, and then the fifth of that chord, we're going to put the thumb on the third of the chord, and then our pointer finger on the fifth of the chord, and play the octave with our pinky. So play all three of those together, and it's going to be an inversion of that first way of playing. Same chord. So that's going to be where we start. So this is the G chord. Left hand, you can play an octave, a G with both the pinky and the thumb, and then this G chord with the thumb on the B, the pointer finger on the D, and then the pinky on another G. So that's the G chord right there. The next chord we're going to look at is the D suspended chord. So we'll move our left hand down to the D. We'll play an octave with the D. And then keeping our same general position with the right hand, we're going to move from this G chord. We're going to move the thumb down one note, keep the pinky or the pointer finger on the same D, and then instead of the pinky on the G, we're going to move the ring finger to this black note right below, 1/2 step down from the G. It's an F sharp. So we'll play the left hand at D, and then the right hand will have A, D, F sharp. So there's the D chord. So we'll go from the G chord to the D chord. Alright, so there are your two first chords there, and then keeping the same position with the right hand, we're going to play an E minor chord. The left hand moves up one note to an E, playing octave on the E's, and then your thumb goes right back to where it was in the G chord on the B. And instead of your pointer finger doing anything on this chord, your middle finger will come in where it's generally probably already sitting over that E chord. So we'll have the thumb on the B, the middle finger on the E note, and then the pinky will go back to the high G. So it's similar to the G chord. Remember, the G chord is B, D, G. The E minor chord is going to be B, E minor, or B, E, G. So that plays the E minor chord. So with the left hand in, it's playing both at the same time. There's your E minor chord. So we'll start with the G chord, G major, D major, E minor. And then for the C chord, we're going to move the left hand down 2 notes down to the C. And moving from the E minor to the C is very easy because all you do is move the thumb up 1/2 step to the C. So you keep the middle finger on the E and the pinky on the G. So there you have the C chord. So all 4 together is G, D, E minor, C major. So there are your 4 chords. And the last thing I want to show you is the sustain pedal. And the sustain pedal is if you're looking at a real piano, if you're looking at an upright piano, generally there are 2 or 3 pedals down there by the floor. It's the one to the right that we're going to talk about. It's a sustain pedal. And what the sustain pedal does is it lets you basically bridge any gap where you're trying to move to another chord. And it lets you, if you're pressing it down when you play a note or play a chord, here's the G chord, you can let go by keeping the pedal down. You'll see when I release the pedal, the music stops. So it's a chance to keep it pressed down until you find the next chord. You let up on the pedal right before you press down the next chord, and then press the pedal down again. The reason you want to let up the pedal is because if you don't, it's going to sound like a lot of gibberish, because you'll be getting notes that you don't want ringing out in different chords. So if I play all 4 chords without letting up on the pedal, it sounds like this. And there's just a lot going on there. So we want to lift the pedal between each chord. So you have the G chord, lift it for the D chord, lift it again right before the E minor, and then you lift it again before the C. So there are the 4 chords, and again, it's important to remember that you can play these chords in any order or pattern that you so desire. And this is just a way to get you started feeling comfortable in using chords and music along with the lyric that you're writing.